Okay, in this video we're going to do a face swap thing. What I've got here right now is kind of the finished product. Let me show you and then we'll make one and throw it in here. So what you see is I've got this background image and this lady's cut out from it, and you'll see a layer group, and so within that group are a bunch of other people and masks. And what we've basically got is I've got somebody that's giving her her eyes, somebody that's giving her a mouth, a nose, and then her body. Let's see. Here's just the face with no body. So that's kind of the idea. So what I want to show you is over here I've got these two mics. This one's my brother. This one's a former roommate. And I'm going to take the mouth off this one, this mic, put it on the other mic. So I'm going to use the move tool. Grab this mic, pull it over, wait for the tab to turn on, and then drop it in. Let's see, need some more move tool here. Program error, okay, and so there I have those two, and they're stacked up on layers. I can turn visibility like that. Okay, so I'm going to grab a mouth. I'm going to use this polygon lasso tool, and I make kind of a big cut like this, like they were a messy eater. And you can double click and it'll find its starting point. And then I like to do the selected mask part, and you can see it like that. So you can kind of see what we're going to do, but really the key of this is feather. And watch as I pull this feather up, you're going to see that the edges around this mouth are going to really get soft. It's going to blend those edges. So I don't want to do it too far. If I do it too far, it'll start to disappear. So I'm going to back off from that. I want the mouth to. Okay, so I have these two stacked up here, and I'm making a quick selection here of this. Use the polygon lasso. Double click to connect to your start spot. Select and mask. And here you can see it. This might be actually an easier way to see, but if you pull feather up, feather is the one that you want here. If you pull it up, it really blends the edge out. So now let's look at it with white. Yeah, that's good. And just on the layer. Oh yeah, see how this mouth, even though it's in the wrong spot, it blends right in. Really good. Okay. And so I'm going to go, oops, hold on. I'm going to go, I don't want to invert it. Okay, so hit enter to move forward. Alright, so now I've got that selection, and what I'm going to do is on this layer 1, I'm going to actually double click this and call this like O, and I'm going to double click this, say OK, which unlocks it from being locked, and I'm going to call this one Mike B, and because that's his name. And then on Mike O, I am going to make a mask. Watch this. So now I have this black thing that's hiding most of Mike O, but just showing his mouth. And there he is. And I want to then move him using the move tool up into place. And let's see, another thing you might want to do at this point, if you wish, and depending on the parts that you're working with, you might need to do Command or Control T. And that gives you a transform tool. Now watch if I, for example, stretch out the mouth a little bit, or if I need to squash it down a little bit. Oh, actually, sorry. Nowadays you have to hold down Shift in order to squash it, because it's sometimes not what you want. destroying, squashing whole pixels when we're doing that. That's okay for this. Double click to apply, and then that's a pretty good thing already. So look, I can turn off mic O, and that's, I see my original, just mic B, and there's mic O. Here's without. That's what it's doing. I probably went too overboard, and then it's looking like a little bit thin, so I probably pulled it too far. But that's okay. You'll do a better job. I want to do one more thing. So I want to go into this mask, and I want to use my Alt key to zoom in, Alt Option. And notice I got some weird stuff happening in here. I can control this after the fact with my mask. So let's say I don't want this extra double chin, nose chin thing, because that's my brother's nose. And anyway, it's weird. So I'm going to choose a paintbrush. And I'm going to paint with black because I want to hide some more stuff. And I gotta look here at my brush. I got a crazy brush here, so I want to actually pull mostly up to the top and go to soft round. And don't need it quite so big. Yeah, that's good. And then, of course, bracket piece are good here. Bracket piece, change your brush size. So I just make one little drawing right over that. And basically bringing back a little bit more of this guy's Mike B's nose. Now, what if I wanted to do the opposite? I like to do this X key. The X key by itself, watch, flips those. And when you do that, now I'm painting with white, and so I'm adding more of my brother. And so what if I brought his nose back? See, check this out. Ooh, my brother has a big nose. Like that. And there's some slight differences in skin tone there we could get into with the adjustment layer or something like that. There, I think he's got, yeah, my brother was wearing glasses there. So there, I'm going to hit X again, X, and I can just go take that right back out. So you see how you can really have a lot of control over that. All right, one other thing while I'm down in here is I want to, on my brother's teeth, I want to make a selection using the quick selection tool. Make my brush smaller with the bracket keys there. And then draw just on these teeth. I gotta get some of this yellow off these teeth. You know? And now I think I went too far in there, and I'm just gonna go hold the Alt key. That flips me into minus mode, then I can take away some of this. I think I'll leave the bottom piece unfiltered. But the tops are gonna get filtered. And let's see, I don't really want gums, so I'm gonna go Alt. Okay, that looks pretty good. Maybe get rid of this area and add this area. So you see, if you hold down Alt, you can go back and forth between adding and subtracting from this really easily. So subtract there. That looks pretty good. I could do this selected mask, but I'm not going to run through that quite yet. Or this time, you can. I think that's a good habit. Okay, but that looks like a good selection. And then I'm going to make an adjustment layer. And I'm going to do this color balance because I want to make some small changes to the color. And up here you have shadows, midtones, and highlights. It's mostly these highlights. Let's see what I can do here. Oh yeah, that's getting better. More towards cyan, maybe more towards blue. Oh yeah, look at that. It's like a toothpaste commercial. Okay, that looks pretty good. Pretty good. There's still some stuff there, and I could fix that, but I want it to still look natural. And this is a demo, so I'm going to do it quick. You could spend more time. But there we go. So we've got this adjustment layer on there, making those teeth whiter. We've got this giving a new mouth and a new nose. And then here we've got this guy providing the body. So, and actually that's the last step I want to do here with him is I want to zoom out a little bit. I'm going to turn off the other stuff for a second. And just on him, I'm going to make a selection. In fact, watch this. I'm going to click this up here at the top, select subject, and give it a minute. Oh, give it one more chance here to do it. Well, I don't know. Maybe it could be running the video or something. All right, I'm going to use quick selection tool. So I'm going to bump my brush up a little bit bigger, and I'm going to just start making some broad strokes here. And you notice that it's pretty quick, that it gets pretty good. I'm missing an ear there, so I'm going to make a smaller brush and go back in. That's good. And then I have a little bit, just a little hair too much here, so I'm going to go Alt, hold down Alt, and then just make some clicks there. Whoa, went too far again, so let go of Alt and put some of that action back. Alright, I'm gonna stop while I'm ahead and make a mask. Cool. And now I'm gonna put his face back on. Yeah. And next I'm going to select all of these layers and I'm going to link them so that they move together. And then I'm going to group them, and I'm going to double click and call this group the mics. Now you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to add even more parts. So you're going to have a body and then 2 to 3 parts. So I added one. I guess I added 2 because I added a mouth and a nose, so they were from the same face. But you're going to add at least one more face and do some eyes or hair or earrings or something. And you can certainly add more adjustment layers to change the colors of things too. That would be great. Alright, but then once you have this group all made, I want to use the move tool, and I'm going to grab this group and I'm going to pull it over to that original file that I talked about and drop it in there. Aha, and there we have, I'm going to go Control H to get rid of that grid that comes in sometimes. And I'm going to use my move tool that I already have. Just nestle Mike, little Mike here. Now, maybe he's a little bit, maybe he could be just a touch bigger, so I could go Control T, transform, and I could pull this just a hair bigger. That's good. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay. So that's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to create some kind of background, and the background really doesn't matter. It could be one of your photos, or it could be just a color. And then I want you to make 3 of these new people out of conglomerations of other people. And I want you to make layer groups. And so you'll have a really nice organized file when you're done. And then I want you to open up at least one of your layer groups. You could leave the other 2 shut down, but I want you to take a screenshot of your layer panel so that I can see that you have that you're using the technique that I'm showing you, the masks, with the whole picture in there. So if you want to use the nose of one person, you pull the whole picture in and you mask it off. And that's just to give you more flexibility later so you can add or subtract. So hopefully that works well for you. Send me any questions and take care.